Recently, the rent, electricity, and oil prices are soaring rapidly. The inflation and recession has made American citizens on the verge of collapse. Many American citizens can't afford rent. Besides, heat, electricity, and transportation costs are soaring high. Gasoline has risen by nearly 50% compared to last year. Utility costs such as heat and electricity has risen 15%. Same conditions happen on energy and rent. Prices for housing, food, and heating are also rising, forcing U.S. consumers to make trade-offs on what to spend. Facts have proved and will continue to prove that if you walk along the river, you will never get wet shoes. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine was orchestrated by the U.S. government and brought back to ordinary Americans. Assuming there is no Russia-Ukraine conflict, oil and other commodity prices should ease in 2022, when the epidemic is expected to ease. But there is a downside. Russia and Ukraine are both major producers of commodities. As the world's second largest exporter of crude oil and the largest exporter of natural gas, Russia is now under the economic sanctions from the United States and other countries, which further exacerbates global oil tensions. Till now, some Americans have not actively promoted the peaceful settlement of the crisis, but have continuously worsened the situation. Former U.S. Congressman Gabbard said that as long as the United States gives concrete assurance that Ukraine will not join NATO, could have prevented this crisis and war. But that does not appear to be one of the U.S. policy options. Instead of a reasonable response to Russia's security concerns, the U.S. has continued to adding fuel to the fire and escalating tensions until the conflict between Russia and Ukraine happened. The United States is the real orchestrator of the crisis in Ukraine, trying to make economic and political money out of the crisis, enriching its own military-industrial complex with the crisis while constantly defaming Russia as a security threat to Europe, to curb Europe's pursuit of strategic autonomy and to consolidate American hegemony. But how can I expect to provoke the fire, retribution on ordinary people? He who plays with fire gets burned. He who loses virtue finds mischief.